everyone, welcome to the Dumbass Podcast. I am Winter.
I am Zach Goldpickman.
And I am Pyrite.
Holy shit, bro's got a new name.
Weren't expecting that one, did you?
Damn, it's been a hot... I don't know if you can hear this. I got fucking Pop Rocks in my mouth. But, it's been a little bit.
Yeah,
quite a long time.
I think it's already been like almost a year.
It's about to be a year again. I know one of the last times we recorded an episode, it was on the 3-year anniversary. It's about to be the 4-year soon, so...
But yeah.
You might as well do something to catch up.
If you're a new listener, because we're going to be real with you, some of the earlier podcast episodes are maybe a little painful to listen to.
A little bit, yeah.
But, so... Our friend here has recently gone through a rebrand. I did at one point, though mine was kind of just the visuals of my character.
The only real thing different about me is my Bigfoot has slightly bigger tits and eyelashes now.
So, but, yeah. So, what used to be Glitchmaster Phase now has rebranded.
And I feel like I have a pretty valid reason for changing it, because... First of all, the name sounds painfully generic, and on top of that, they're probably going to think I'm some edgy 12-year-old who thinks he's in the FaZe clan.
There was always that. In the back of my mind, I always did think about just, the FaZe clan.
And besides, I made that name.
I mean, people started giving a shit about them in, 2016.
Fair. I haven't heard of them forever.
And I made that account under that name and kept it for nearly 6 damn years.
I suppose it is time for a rebrand.
And it's about time I changed to something fresh. In this case, I'm calling it Pyrite because I'm all about the gold.
Gold Pikmin?
Anyway, but we have the structure at hand, that being, first we're going to do a little bit of small talk.
Our favorite part of this segment.
And we figured, or at least it was my idea, unless anyone else has other stories they want to tell, we're being joined by...
Porkchop is here. It's the 4th podcast member.
But,
this is going to be
it was my idea, unless some of us had some other ideas, to talk about the little shopping trip we went on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah?
So... To start us off with this topic, I guess, basically, nearby my house, which is usually where we record it's where we're recording this episode, it's where we recorded a lot of them.
Yeah.
But near my house, there's like a little area with a couple of little shopping districts.
Yeah, a nice little shopping center.
South End.
And we decided... Don't give them too much to work off of. We're not trying to give away our location.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea of me.
But, so, nearby, we have that, and we were like, fuck it, let's go there. Because what we were mainly going for was a dollar store that's near us.
Yeah, but we figured out there are some pretty decent stores in there along the way. We just never really bothered to look.
Yeah, we ended up going to a fucking Joann Fabric.
Oh yeah, we did do that. Yeah,
and
they're like hardcore going out of business.
And I got a nice little. I actually got the rest of navy blue fabric with a golden constellation design.
Pretty
to
sick. I ended up getting a bunch of candy at Five Below, which is why I have my Pop Rocks.
I just ended up getting some popcorn-flavored jelly beans.
Yeah.
Can you hear that, chat?
I'm sure that won't be annoying.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Anyway, but, yeah, Jelly Belly, kind of a goat. I'd say probably the biggest discovery that we made was this little, I don't know. I don't want to say anything about the people running it because it's probably not correct, but all we know is outside of their door they were playing, Spanish music.
Yeah, it's like a international market grocery store type of place.
Yeah, so their whole thing is, food and stuff from other places.
Yeah. It's pretty damn cool, all things considered.
Yeah. You remember the cock soup?
Oh, dude, the cock soup!
I never would have thought to see that thing ever again.
The cock soup, for record, It is basically just their spicy version of the chicken soup,
Yeah.
but funny name.
Funny.
Anyway,
Kind of a hidden gem, to be honest. They had a lot of really cool stuff there.
And a
Yeah.
lot of things that...
the thing that interested me was it was like this coconut milk drink.
Right.
And according to Nate, because, according to Nate, it has these notable, like, cubes in it,
Yeah.
and we were curious, like, what the fuck is this? And Nate said, because he's had it before, that he's pretty sure it's like this kind of like gelatin thing. So it's essentially in the same area code as boba tea.
Right.
It's like gelatin coconut.
We're thinking about one day going there and getting a haul and like doing another food review, but just from stuff from there, which I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were out for a couple hours just looking through the shopping district. We found out that it had this little alleyway in it.
Yeah.
And probably the funniest thing in it is the fact that there is a sign in it that says, like, oh, don't you be smoking marijuana in here.
Just a bunch of no smoking of any kind signs.
And not even like a couple stores down.
Is a vape.
The alleyway itself was so potent of weed. Like, it was comical.
Yeah, there was no way anyone was listening to that
Yeah,
song.
and then there was a vape store, like, really close by. It's just like, damn. All right, I could definitely see us filming there at a later date.
Yeah, no one gave a shit about any of that.
But, yeah, it was a nice little adventure we went on, just seeing what all was there. How do we podcast again?
All right.
There's a brief thing I want to talk about because I realized technically I've never talked about it on the podcast, and that's French fry. The last time we did an episode, I only had pork chop. Now I have French fry, which I'm sure if you've tuned into my channel in any capacity, you probably know who French fry is. But for those who don't, French fry, little black cat of mine that is currently going through the process of having the coat on because he's got his balls removed.
Yeah, he's a little boy. You found him.
I found him outside.
Yeah, you found him outside
on the 4th of July.
On the 4th of July, and when you did find him, he clearly was only like a couple of weeks.
He was so small when I first got him.
Yeah, he had very clearly had like just been born.
Yeah.
So, he probably wasn't even born when we did that last podcast.
I highly doubt it.
But you found him. We took care of him. We got his fleas taken care of, at least as far as we can tell.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And, so we got his fleas taken care of, and also we got his balls removed.
Yeah, he's coping through that right now. Constantly pissed off. He'll live. But he's cute. And I'm glad I got him. He's very, very, very attached to me.
Yeah. I have an idea for something I can mention, because this is something I've worked on. So, anyone listening to this podcast, I don't know who listens, but given most of our viewers are probably just our close friends who are within our same age range, so some of you listening might have heard about this little game called TF2.
Oh, God.
No biggie.
This little
this kind of like small independent game, kind of underrated. I doubt you even heard of it.
This little game called TF2, we don't really know about it too much, but
it's this new and upcoming game.
So, okay. So TF2 is, what happened was, it's finally been getting some updates after years of neglect. The last major update was Jungle Inferno in 2017, for reference. And one of the updates that happened was, Valve themselves officially released the Source SDK, which, for those of you who don't understand how Source games work, is basically the entirety of the code for the game.
Oh, lovely.
And so, one of my online buddies and I are working on a modded client for the game. So what we're looking at is weapon balances, new gimmicks and game modes.
Right.
We're obviously going to take it only a step at a time, so it's going to start in a very basic state, almost as basic as the actual TF2 was when it first released. But over time, step by step, we're going to be adding shit that's been balanced, changed, kind of optimized for player experience. And obviously, we have no real time frame expectancy for when we're even going to be able to get the initial state of that out. But it's a pretty cool project that I'm glad to be working on, and it's admittedly been consuming a lot of my time, not because I feel pressured by any deadlines, but because I've actually just been legitimately gotten addicted to fucking working on it. Like, I just can't stop. I just think of shit, and I'm like, oh, I need to write that down.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely been there on stuff before.
But that's just a couple of things, and like the reason, I guess before we end off the small talk section, I guess it's fair to give a reason as to why it's probably been so long, and that's just the fact that we've been dealing with so much in real life bullshit, and we get that that's like that's the typical YouTuber excuse, but like it's painfully real.
Listen, I talked a little bit about it in my update video I uploaded earlier this week, and if you haven't watched that, I recommend you do. Life fucking sucks. This is a great segue into the topic at hand. The world stresses me the fuck out. There is a insane amount of things happening behind the scenes, and why don't we all right, I get the title. This is basically things that piss us off part 2 for a frame of reference. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening. Like I said, I moved again, and that's been a real pain in the ass, and we just have not been able to prioritize YouTube stuff, especially the podcast. But we definitely want to get back into doing the podcast a bit more regular. I'm sure we said that last time we uploaded, but
Yeah.
we mean it. We really want to do more for the podcast.
Yeah, we also, like, Cringe O'Clock fans, listen, we understand the channel's been real fucking slow for the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's been kind of dead.
But we plan to come back. We're probably going to come back with either one of two things. Finally returning with Puppet Squad.
Yeah.
Because the show got cut off after the first episode of the 4th season.
Which was like 3 years ago now. Which is insane.
What we're going to come back with is either that or us, or Winter and I playing Secret of the Mimic.
The newest FNAF game. Hey, Secret of the Mimic. I think you got something you want to segue into that.
So, this little topic is not really super relevant, but I want to say this. I came in with a notepad about mainly 2 things I wanted to complain about. And one of them is this fucking virus of a song that has infested the FNAF community.
Can't go 5 scrolls without seeing this shit.
Jackie's Box.
Oh, there it is.
And it pisses me the fuck up. Now, okay, I've complained about it a lot within my friend circles. I just want to say a thing. I have no ill will against the actual guy, right? I don't want to, like, when I say this, I'm not saying, oh, I want him to be harassed or end up dead.
Publicly execute this man.
I'm not saying that. I'm sure the guy, most of the time, is just a regular dude trying to go about it.
Right.
And he's fine, I'm sure. Unless, I don't know.
Unless we're wrong and he's the worst.
But the actual song pisses me off so much because it's just ass.
It's pretty shit posting in the worst possible way. Chad, I'm gonna be real honest for a second. I fucking love the song, and that's because I have the most fucking cancerous form of autism, where this is the type of shit that feeds my brain. But trust me, It's bad.
Yeah.
And there's no justifying it.
So, and the thing is like, I don't know, Daco saw it on his stream.
Mark just saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
Me and Zach both got trolled by it pretty much.
I
But,
lost my shit. I was not expecting him to see that.
but like, if it was just like, I don't know, I can't tell if it was purposefully bad or not, I'm gonna be real.
I think it might be.
But the thing is
This song starts with "My name is the fucking mimic." There's no way it's not intentionally bad.
but it's just so like I like Miles, and that's because his shit posting is like, it's bad, but it's like designed to purposefully be so fucking bad that it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And like, I get this is probably aiming for the same thing, but it didn't dive deep enough to the point where it's still kind of just ass. And because it's so ass, I hate that people are putting it fucking everywhere they can. It's not even just a FNAF community thing anymore. It's a virus that has spread so many other fucking places, and people are putting it anywhere just to put it there, like they were doing with Among Us. And it's annoying as shit. I don't give a fuck if you put the fucking Fedora side view, man, in front of a place that's not even fucking relevant. Shut the fuck up and come up with a new meme.
It's basically
Jesus.
the new Among Us. Is the best way to describe it.
Jesus, help this poor soul. I don't think I've seen Zach get this worked up over a fucking song.
It's not funny.
It's a little funny. But yeah, I can't. The fuck. Where the fuck did that stock photo of Edwin come from? Because
It's not a FNAF asset.
it's nothing related to FNAF.
I can assure you it's not a FNAF asset.
And same thing with the David PNG. That's just a stock image of a child. And I have literally seen it in public. And I lose my fucking mind when I see it. I'm like, holy shit, there it is! It's Among Us all over again.
The only thing that guy probably could have made on his own was the render of Jackie that's used in it. And even then, I can't guarantee that that's not just a render he found on DeviantArt.
Very fair. Yeah, shitpost songs, man. They're cancerous.
I like Miles because, like I said, he purposely makes his songs bad, but they're so bad that it's actually funny.
Yeah.
Like, was at the bottom, now I'm on top. This is the sound of a robot.
God, we gotta. Have you shown Nate that yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, damn.
Dookie on my shoe, Dookie on my shoe, Dookie!
So essentially, the song is basically the Troll 2 of music industry, and that's me being generous.
Anyway, but like, it's just so. But like, Miles' songs are so bad that it makes them hilarious because you can tell it's on purpose. With fucking Jackie's Box, I can't tell if it's trying to be bad or it's just ass.
Yeah. You're walking the most fine line of these right now. I cannot tell.
But that's been an issue I have had for a while.
Yeah.
And it's like, when Daco saw it on stream, I was like, okay, that's stupid. I don't care. But like, when it started becoming a virus, it started pissing me off more and more because it became everyone's go-to joke. And it's like, okay, I've heard the joke like literally 5,000 times.
Yeah, it's kind of way past overstayed its welcome by now.
It's like people have a term for this. It's called sandbagging. And I don't care if it's a different person that's sandbagging it. It's clearly been sandbagged to the point where Earth has become the fucking Dune planet.
Do you think the original creator of the song regrets his decision in any way, shape, or form?
I have no clue.
Or do you think he's fucking riling in the madness of it all?
He's probably proud of it.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, let's move on to a different one.
I have like a big topic I want to talk about, but before I get into that, there's like a small itty bitty one I want to talk about. This is a very personal bullshit. So I'm 22 years old. When I turned 21, I was living in Virginia at the time, and I went out to bars on my birthday, like the day I turned 21, right? Like no problems there. I'm a pretty chronic smoker, all things considered. And what you go out and do what you can when you're 21 and are able to do all the shit you couldn't do before. The problem is, when I moved back to where I am now, apparently my ID is no fucking good. Now here's what I'm going to say is that sure, there's probably a lot of stuff that I didn't know because I didn't bother looking up. But apparently it goes state by state, because now my ID is basically fucking useless. I found this out the hard way because I was going out to a restaurant with my friend a little bit ago, and we were going to drink because we're like, we're both adults now. We can drink at places because why the fuck not? And I fucking handed them ID, and they're like, oh, you can't use this. They're like, blah, blah, blah. It has to be facing side to side instead of up and down. That is the most stupid fucking bullshit thing I've ever heard. You see that I am of age, past of age, and it's like, oh, now it's fucking useless. I don't have the fucking money to get another ID right now. It's just like, God, the world sucks, and I know this is such a nothing burger thing to complain about, and they'd be like, oh, Winter, you got alcoholism, and I'm like, I would if I could use my ID.
I'm gonna be real. That's worth complaining about because that is such the most fucking dumbass excuse. It's like what's okay? Like here's my next thing. It's like fucking It's like I don't know. It's like fucking Jesus Christ. Like I don't know. To me, it feels like the equivalent of like you're playing a video game and a pathway is blocked because there's a bush in the way that you could easily just...
Yeah, that's exactly what it fucking feels like. It's so stupid, it shouldn't be a thing at all. And I'm like, sure, I'll fucking deal with it, I'll get a new ID, but this should never have been a problem, especially when it's only a problem in the state we live in. The only one. No one else gives a fuck. And I'm like, oh, you suck. I already hate the state that we live in, and it's like, oh, add that to the fucking list.
It's like, I'm not gonna... Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't do this, I only have two reasons I wouldn't do this, and it's because, one, I would get arrested. Two, it wouldn't be the person I'm talking to's fault. They didn't make that decision.
Oh yeah, I never blame the cashier or the person
I want to find the person who made this up, and I want to fucking beat them. I want to beat their ass so bad. Yeah. I don't even drink regularly. I made it a point where I don't want to drink unless it's a social occasion.
Yeah.
Because and it's not because I'm afraid of becoming alcoholic. No, I fucking hate the taste of alcohol. I almost always have to mix it with shit.
Yeah.
But even then, that rule just as a thing is such a...
If I am over 21 and I want to go and have a fucking drink, I should be able to do that.
You say it's a nothing burger thing to complain about. It's a nothing burger of an excuse to not give you shit.
Yeah.
And it's it's such a nothing burger excuse that I want to beat the ass of the person who made it up because what the fuck are you on? Do you think you're that important?
It's I would not care as much if when I was living in Virginia, they're like, oh, I went on my 21st birthday and they're like, oh, you have to get a new ID. I would have cared significantly less then, but it's the fact that I was already going to liquor stores and and vape shops and everything and buying things without a single problem in the world, and then suddenly I move back here and it's a huge problem. That's so fucking stupid.
It's do you think you're that important to make that distinction? And speaking of that question, that actually gives me another thing to complain about, because I don't know. I think it was already kind of in effect around the time we did the last podcast, but it's become much more of an issue now. And that's YouTube's whole thing of trying to not let you use ad blocks.
Oh, Jesus First of
all, Uplay extension, bitch. You can't do shit about it. Second of all, here's the thing. Do you think you're that fucking important to tell me if I should use an ad block or not on YouTube? Here's the thing. Fucking, like, I don't care what it's... The best excuse you could make is, like, oh, you're not letting content creators get their money with ads. But if you look at any content creator, like Charlie, Moist Critical, probably one of the dudes I respect the most on any platform. Because he's just such a real dude. Yeah. He just tells you how it is. And it's like... I fucking love that, because he's also humble as shit. There's no sign of ego on that man. He tells embarrassing facts about his past all the time, because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't feel like he has nothing to prove about himself. He tells you. Any content creator would tell you to use an ad block.
Yeah. It's just, YouTube in general has been a huge source of pissing me off lately for a multitude of reasons.
And my opinion regarding that issue just comes down to the fact is, like, you're not that important.
No.
You're not that important to tell me whether or not I should be using this.
Yeah, it just seems kind of bullshit. Hey, was there any topics you wanted to go in before I get into this big ending one?
I was going to... Okay. I did have one more, and the reason why I was saving it was because it was kind of by an extension to what you were probably going to talk about. But here, I'll let Nate have a turn if he has something he wants to talk about. Then I guess I'll go with mine if you want to have the finisher.
Yeah.
I hate the Pentagon.
Did you know that there's a McDonald's in the Pentagon?
Right. I like the Twin Towers, though.
Dude.
Honestly.
Rip. Never forget.
To be honest.
I am sick of having that overshadow my birthday.
In my opinion, the Twin Towers were the most recognizable building in New York City. Like, yeah, you got the Empire State Building. Sure, you got Times Square. Fine. You got the fucking Lady Liberty. No problem. But to me, the Twin Towers were the most recognizable building of all time, because you're not gonna... I mean, yeah, you're gonna see two buildings that may be the same height, maybe from there all the way to over there, but whenever you see... when was the last time you've seen two buildings that were the exact same size, merely just like 10 feet apart from each other?
There was like that one movie that was based off of a real event where some dude like tightrope walked across both towers, and that's pretty insane.
Anyway.
You know Suction Cup Man is based on a real incident where a dude climbed Trump Tower that way?
Yes.
That's actually fucking legendary. I did not know that.
But, okay, I see Nate's continuing his shtick of out-of-pocket jokes.
That's basically my character. Anyway, that had nothing to do with the actual topic. I just wanted to say, a bit of a woe is me kind of thing. My life's been fucking shit lately. Like, literally nothing has happened. And honestly, I would rather have something bad happen to me. I'd rather get fucking hit by a car and sent to the hospital because I broke my fucking neck than have nothing to me happen all my fucking life. Like, literally, like, have you guys ran into that situation where literally nothing is fucking happening?
Life has been very boring.
And you're just sitting there in your fucking chair asking yourself, what is going on? Am I stuck in a time loop or something? Why is nothing happening?
A lot of days feel the same these days.
I mean, for me, it's that I have a lot of projects that I should be working on. Like IT, like for example, I made trailers for Invader X so long ago. I'm going to be real. I'm not close to finishing that game, and I should be. The problem is I could make excuses like, oh, I had some real life issues, like, because I'm going to be real. Things that have happened during the entire time span I've been working on Invader X, things like my cousin Megan dying of cancer and my grandma dying because, well, she just got old, is like that happened. And it's like, yeah, I could have used that as an excuse for, like, I don't know, a couple months after each of those incidents.
Right.
But, like, it's been years. And, like, there's a lot of that time where it's like, I'm going to be real, it's just me procrastinating because I'm lazy as fuck. And when I sit there having days where I've done nothing productive, fuck. And it's like, I don't know. There's one particular project I'm working on first because it's a project that's kind of been really testing my art,
Right.
like my abilities as an artist. And,
The card one, right?
yeah. And I want to use that as an excuse to finish that first, to really hone my art abilities, and then go back through things like Flipside, because that's technically something we have released,
Yeah.
and then Invader X. I want to spruce them up to that really good honed quality.
We've released 2 games ever: Flipside and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Which I actually played the demo of. Go check it out.
Yeah, but there's that. And that kind of relates to what you're saying, Nate. There are days where I just sit there, I've done nothing, and it makes me feel like ass.
Yeah.
That's actually why I would record videos, because if there's nothing to do, I might as well just waste some time making a video. And I actually wanted to segue into something else, because keep in mind, this isn't like a sponsorship or anything, but I love CapCut. Like, CapCut so far has been the best when it comes to video
the
editing
whole
software.
TikTok thing.
Video editing software. But yeah, like as you were saying, with the TikTok ban being completely wiped out for literally less
TikTok being banned for like 12 hours or some shit.
literally less than 24 hours after its ban, it immediately got brought back. But when I went to check and get CapCut, because I've been usually stuck on YouTube after I just completely left TikTok as a meme, I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck? Where the hell is CapCut at?
Yeah, I feel like it's a little shitty that they just decided
And
to get rid
apparently
of that
they
too.
banned that too. And I'm thinking, what reason would they have to ban CapCut? Like, it's not breaking any international laws, is it?
I don't think so.
Like, what wasn't the whole thing behind TikTok was that it was owned by a Chinese company, and that they were like supposedly hacking into people's data or whatever?
Who would have guessed America is racist?
That's a weird segue into what I was going to complain about. But yeah, fucking, I don't know. My opinion is like, because like people shit on Opera for the same reason. It's like, why do you care about spyware? You already use TikTok on a chronic basis.
Half of these people have a Facebook account too.
Not to mention,
My mother
half
uses
of their,
Temu.
Oh God, not Temu.
not to mention, literally probably any service in America you can think of also steals your data.
Nothing is private. Stop pretending like it is.
So stop fucking shitting on Opera just because they were made by people who aren't American. It's very clearly a racism thing. You don't care about the spyware.
Yeah.
And speaking of racist, this is the other actually written down topic I had. So recently, and this I'm talking recent, like it happened like the morning of the day Nate came over here this visit. I got into a debate with someone who's clearly racist.
Fun.
And funny enough, it finally got me to get some insight into how these people think. And it's some of the most schizo delusional shit I've ever seen. And that's not me using like it as a slang. I mean, it's genuinely schizophrenic levels of delusional. Like by definition of the mental disorder. So let me give you a rundown of how it went. So I was on a call the night before with the guy that I'm working on my TF2 mod with, by the way. Also, fun fact, speaking of YouTube content, I made a video about a cool game, a cool Roblox game called Pressure. Go watch that video and also play the game. But, I got into, we discovered this guy who made a video that's basically like shitting on TF2. And we looked through his channel. The guy is not even subtle in his thumbnails about being a racist or transphobe, because he has thumbnails depicting like very stereotypical racist depictions of black people.
Oh, great.
Among other things. And I got into a debate. First of all, it left with me leaving a very sarcastic comment. Basically, the main thing I said was, the main sentence I said was, fun fact, a game isn't dying because the player base tells you to go fuck yourself when you call them slurs.
Yeah.
And,
Typically, that's the height of the game industry.
but, it then devolved, he's like, so I went on a rant basically saying it's like, yeah, no, a game isn't dying because the fucking fan base hates it when you're racist towards them. And he left a reply to me, they say like you shouldn't publicly give out usernames because it encourages harassment. Fuck it, I'm telling you who this guy is.
Listen, sometimes harassment is necessary if they're a fucking piece of
Username Southern Ninja 7786. This guy's a fucking clown. The term
Ninja?
carnival doesn't even do this guy justice.
Christ.
So he replied to that sarcastic comment basically saying, like, missed the point award. And I replied to him saying, like, yeah, it's pretty easy to miss hot air since it's not dense enough to hit.
Nice.
Oh,
Fucking
damn.
And that led to a whole fucking debate. And this is where I say I finally got some insight into how racists think.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what percentage of racist people this opinion actually is, but apparently a good number of them have created this fucking delusion where terms like racist and comparing them to people like the Confederacy and the Nazis, apparently on our end, that's a form of counter-stereotyping to justify to be just as bad by making terms like racist, Nazi as a sort of counter-stereotyping or a counter-slur. And I'm like, that is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever imagined. This isn't us counter-stereotype. First of all, if you're one of these kinds of people and somehow you found this podcast and somehow you've gotten to this point in it, I'm going to encourage anyone who actually listens to us to just fucking clip me saying this so you can put it at people who act like this. Us saying things like racist is not counter-stereotyping and being just as bad as you. The fact of the matter is the fact that your opinions are just factually, as in not a debate, not an argument. They are factually the same as the people who have committed crimes like slavery and genocide in history. So no, your side is just objectively fucking wrong. And if you're so delusional that you're making justifications for it, fuck off. Seek mental help or just go fuck yourself.
Do both.
It's like saying that racism is some sort of counter stereotype. It's like saying that being mean is a disability. And if that were the case, then Twitter and Tumblr would just cease functioning.
If you're getting pissed that someone called you racist or a Nazi, it's probably because you were doing exactly that.
And here, I want to go even fucking further about this. The dude said that because I was acting like this, I lacked self-awareness. Is like, maybe if you're fucking complaining about people calling you racist when the thumbnails of your videos have very Jim Crow level depictions of black people, I don't think I'm the one lacking self-awareness. Yeah. Maybe if you don't want people to call you racist, you shouldn't fucking do that.
Wow, crazy
yes.
concept.
Of course, racists aren't aware of their actions and like to blame what they do on other people.
And not to mention, this is what I actually said to the guy. I said, what you're doing is basically pinning all the responsibility on me to look at your thumbnails and say, oh, that probably means nothing. He's probably not actually racist. Instead of putting the responsibility on yourself to actually make your thumbnails represent your genuine beliefs if you are not racist. You are very clearly a fucking racist transphobe who's just making excuses to justify your opinion.
Yeah.
And to say, oh, but I'm not a Confederate or a Nazi, even though, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I mean...
You very clearly are.
I mean, you called yourself a Southern Ninja, so I'm pretty sure you kind of out yourself there.
Well, yeah. This kind of segues me into my ending bit. I want to talk about.
Also, fun fact: an hour before where we are now. So I think like roughly 15 minutes before we started the podcast, I got a notification saying someone liked my reply to that dude where I said the hot air line.
Nice.
So yeah.
Now, I've kind of made it a point to not delve too much into politics, but, life kind of reaches a point that you're forced into realizing how fucked the current state of the world is.
Yeah.
And that kind of starts with the fact that we have a goddamn registered felon for our president right now.
Yeah. And like this is something I genuinely like, and this is an extension of the debate I was having. I had a fucking blast trying to troll fucking MAGAs on Twitter.
God, they're just the fucking worst.
And it's like the reason why is because it's like they have it's literally the exact same thought process. They think you trying to say shit about them is like counter stereotyping. It's like, no, we're calling you fucking sexist, racist fucks because you just factually elected a convicted felon who literally shouldn't even be able to run over a black woman. And it's very clear that you chose that choice just because, like, hold on, just to factually correct myself, Kamala is black, yeah?
Maybe, yes, question mark? Keep yapping, I'm gonna look into this. I think so.
I just realized I kind of said that without actually remembering what she is, and I want to deeply apologize for that, genuinely.
Alright, let's see. Jamaican and Indian.
Okay, very wrong. I apologize. So, listen, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I say shit that's wrong. So, fucking haha. But that's one mistake. I still want to bring up the point.
Unlike fucking other people, we can admit when we're wrong.
Yeah, I can admit when I'm wrong. It's like, oh, look at me. Oh, Gold Pickman, you had a racist moment. Yeah, that was a genuine mistake on my end. I forgot. So, fuck me, sure. But the point is like, Kamala is very clearly a non-white woman. Mm-hmm. And it's very fucking clear that when you choose just fully out, not even subtly, it's just a outed fact that you chose a convicted felon over a non-white woman
who was actually going to do great things for this country.
You very clearly...
What was she gonna do?
Not what Trump's doing.
You very clearly did it out of racism and sexism. Like, yeah. That's it. That's very clearly it. And when we call you out because of that, don't get fucking pissy and hide behind excuses, because, tell you what, it's very clear as a goddamn window, motherfucker.
Oh, if we want the price of the eggs to go down, we don't actually care that you're trans. Actually, the price of the eggs have gone the fuck up, so you have no argument.
Listen, this is the reason why I try to escape reality as much as possible. So this is because I don't want to learn or care to learn about all this shit going on.
Have you seen the fucking screenshots where it's like cartons of eggs are like $10 now?
Jesus Christ, everything has gone up lately.
At least somewhere they are.
Yeah.
And it's very clearly an American place.
Yeah. And it's like the main thing I want to talk about is how scary it is to be in the LGBTQ plus community right now, and especially be trans, because they're trying to get rid of us. And it's really scary that one of the things that just happened is you can't legally change your sex on your ID anymore, apparently now, which is fucking bullshit. And it's getting more and more scary. Luckily not here right now, but there's a couple states, I don't know what they are off the top of my head, you can look it up. There's a few states that I have a very big beef with a lot of things going. Like, I'm very glad I'm not in school anymore, because a lot of things going on in a couple different states is the church's separation, the separation of church and state just doesn't exist in a couple places anymore, and now they're forcing you to read the Bible in school. That is the most bullshit thing ever.
Listen. I was to give you an insight of what I am. I was vaguely raised Christian by my grandmother, but she was actually one of the very rare Christians who wasn't a shithead. Like, I had a gay brother living in the same house, and she didn't care about that about him. She was fine with him being like that. And so, like, that's why I was very fine with how I was raised. I since moved on. I don't even know how to describe what I believe in anymore, because
You're just not a piece of shit.
I have a very complicated set of beliefs regarding afterlife, higher powers, and it's something that I would honestly have to spend a very long time to explain to anybody, which is why I don't bring it up.
Yeah.
But even then, if I were to have a kid, I would let them just figure out what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
I would say, like, I would teach them what religions are and not to hate someone just because of it.
I would be teaching my kid to be a good person.
But aside from that, I would be like, look at whatever you want to do and believe whatever you want to believe. And if they end up in a place that's forcing them to learn something else, I would go to that school and I would say, listen, my kid's not going to be fucking learning this shit, and you're not going to make them get in trouble for it. And if you try to hold them after school, I will come here and raise hell until you let me take my kid home.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another big problem that I had growing up. My parents kind of pushed religion on me a bit, and that kind of made me into a dickhead.
I mean, a little.
Early on in our friendships, my family was really heavily Christian. They still are. They just don't push it as hard on me anymore. But early on, I was an absolute asshole towards my own friends, pushing stuff like the Bible, thinking that the fucking moon landing was fake, all this dumb shit that I just been saying over the past
there was a
hour.
point that I knew that you unironically thought the world was flat.
I mean,
if smiling friends taught us anything, that's just the truth.
I love flat. I love it. Okay. I'm gonna give flat earthers one query. Okay. Go to California, take a plane to Japan. See which way the plane goes. That's it.
I forget exactly what the circumstances were, but there was like a group of flat earthers trying to prove the earth was flat and then accidentally proved it was round, and that's just funny as fuck to me. But I want to, we're reaching our point here, so I want to end it on this last bit of note.
all right.
That if you are queer in America, do not let people take that away from you. Keep fighting for what you know is right.
Yeah.
And
Genuine.
no matter how scary the world is, don't let yourself become another statistic.
Yes, because, yeah, so the guy I'm working on the TF2 mod with, I'm trying to avoid, even then I would only be saying like his like Discord username, but I still don't want to say it because I haven't gotten his permission to, and I respect his boundaries, especially because he's a lot younger than I am.
Yeah.
He is a pansexual person, and his romantic partner is a trans person.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, they're both very concerned for each other in this modern climate. And I also had to help another buddy. He's not in the LGBT community, but for other reasons, I had to help him through a suicidal episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, he hasn't had another one since, and I'm very happy for him for that. But all of that, I just want to say, as a genuine word of heart from us, the Dumbass Podcast, especially if you're in the LGBT community, we get it. The world's shit, and life's probably really fucking difficult for you right now.
It's really scary,
but you owe it to yourself to try to fight to it and stick to who you are, because you taking yourself out and like killing yourself,
this is exactly what they want.
It's what they want. It's what they want you to do. They want you to die off so that we essentially, I guess, I don't know the term, but I guess straight wash the world.
I mean, I would say so, yeah.
kind of like, like whitewash. But
America only seems to like cis white men, so
yeah, they want you to die off because they think you spread this. They think LGBTQ like sexualities are spread,
Mhm.
like kind of like by contact or some weird fuck ass shit.
Are they seriously trying to say that this LGBTQ or whatever it's called
Well,
is a virus?
Basically,
basically.
they think if they encourage, they think if they kill off, and they think if they like encourage them to be killed off and kill themselves, and if they all just go away,
Oh.
that it's never gonna occur again, which is just wrong.
So
Like fucking people in the medieval era, there were gay people.
Gay people, trans people, they've always existed, and they're not going to stop existing just because you're upset about it.
I seem to
that
remember
far
there
back?
being a rather famous poet who actually ended up being bisexual.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to say who it. I think it was either Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe gives me some bisexual energy, I'm not going to lie. I don't know, though, 100%, so don't quote me on that.
Didn't we?
I mean,
Side note: didn't we watch a movie that was about Edgar Allan Poe's
It did.
poems?
It was
he
it was
does
The Raven. It was like he was in.
Nevermore.
It was called The Raven. It was there was like a killer recreating all of his poems and killing people.
Watch that movie.
Great underrated movie.
Anyway, but yeah, but like we get it. Times are shit, but like you owe it, like, and it's like we get it. Like, if anything, Winter can speak on this. Every day you'll wake up and you'll think it's not worth the effort.
I look at the news and I'm disheartened by what the world is becoming, but you cannot give in to that. You have to keep going no matter how scary it is. And I know it's scary, but you owe that to yourself to keep going. Prove them wrong.
And yeah, prove them wrong. Prove you're strong.
Yeah.
And it's like, because if you kill yourself, you're giving them. It's what they want you to do,
And you cannot give that to them.
and
So essentially, what you're saying is that whatever we're talking about is Autism Speaks.
I don't know if that's correct.
I don't know about that one.
But
I mean, they also.
We're autistic and we do be speaking.
They treat autism like it's a disease as well.
I mean, yeah, but unrelated.
Yeah.
That's a completely separate pool.
Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, it's what they want you to do, and especially for the transgender folks out there, this is something I've said to a few transgender people who've needed some advice from me. If you kill yourself, you're never, like, all you're doing is guaranteeing you will never be the person that you want to be.
Yeah. Also, side note, get a gun. Defend yourself. And I know that sounds kind of funny to me to just say, but you need to especially if you're living in like a red state, you need to be able to protect yourself, because it happens all the time that people are just killing trans people, and it's fucking terrifying. Don't let yourself become another statistic.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want, but like, yeah, all of you out there, like, random stupidity, gold Pikmin, and all of our collaborative shit, I don't think Nate has figured out exactly what his, like, because he calls himself Pyrite now, but I don't know what his full channel name is going to be, but his channel as well.
It's most likely,
It'll be linked down below.
I already have an idea of what it's either going to be. I'm either going to change it to Pyrite or just call it the Glitch Master like I used to do, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there.
But all of our channels and the channels that are run by us,
they're always going to be a safe space.
They're going to be a safe
community.
space for you to be. And if someone is like legitimately like trying to get at you in our comments, we will make.
Trust me, we're not going to tolerate that.
We're not going to tolerate that, and we will go after them.
Yeah. So no matter how, ending it on this, no matter how scary the world gets, you have to keep going. I know it probably isn't easy a lot of the time, but don't let yourself become another statistic. You are a human being, and you deserve to live.
You deserve to be able to live with your own rights and your own safety, because it's what you deserve.
Yeah.
just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, let's end it with that. Don't be a fucking ass. No matter who you are, don't be a fucking asshole.
I mean, you can be
And
who
it's-
you want.
yeah.
Just don't cry it out in public and think you're on top of the world or something.
And especially, don't be the kind of person who's clearly doing shit that's designed to offend a demographic, then wonder why people hate you for it.
Yeah. So I guess on that note, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. We know it's been a little bit, but this was like an episode where we had some actual important shit to say. So on that note, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.